What if Boruto turns evil in the future? I know Boruto fans have been brawling over this issue for quite some time now, but since the manga is still ongoing, we have no proper answer to it. All we can do is speculate, but you don't have to worry about this since we've got you covered. In this video, we'll talk about interesting theories regarding Boruto's dark destiny and how he can turn to the evil side. Without any further ado, let's dive right into it. The struggle for power and supreme authority has always been a major issue in the Naruto-verse. We've witnessed countless characters succumb to the dark side just because they desired power, and something similar can happen to Boruto as well. Following the memory swap, Boruto gets banished from Konoha, but Sasuke still believes him and proceeds to train him. However, after Sasuke gets sealed, Boruto has to do everything alone. Despite mastering everything from Sasuke and even the time-space jutsu, Boruto believes that he's not strong enough to protect everyone from Code and the others. His confrontation against Hidari and the other god trees further strengthens his lack of confidence in his own abilities. To make up for this, Boruto drifts from his path. He sees power from other means, including forbidden jutsu, and even stealing forbidden scrolls from other nations. Despite this, Boruto is not satisfied with this and even seeks Orochimaru's guidance. Even though Orochimaru had reverted his ways, witnessing the lust in Boruto's eyes, he agrees. Orochimaru's experimentation changes his entire appearance and turns him into something unrecognizable. Orochimaru is also shocked at Boruto's lust for power, and even for him, this is surprising. Considering his actions, Boruto is a wanted criminal in other nations for his actions. There are even rumors that he has sought out tailed beasts to extract their power. He had forgotten his real purpose and what he actually wanted. For the people of Konoha, Boruto had died. Years pass by as Boruto continues seeking power for himself. Considering the threat he poses, Konoha formulates a squad composed of Sarada, Himawari, Kawaki, and other elite shinobi to eliminate him. Following some thorough search, they finally manage to trace his location and confront him. Sarada attempts to convince Boruto to return to Konoha, but Boruto doesn't listen to him. He's completely lost in his lust for power that he sees them as mere fools who stand in his way. The battle continues for quite some time as Boruto overpowers all of them. However, they had a trump card, the twin snake sacrifice jutsu. According to Orochimaru, this is the only means they can ensure Boruto's death, and he taught this to Sarada, who's willing to die for him. In the end, she utilizes this forbidden jutsu on Boruto and manages to end his life alongside herself. In the previous scenario, Boruto succumbs to the dark side following his lust for power and his will to protect his friends. But things are slightly different this time around. Following the memory swap, Boruto receives training from Sasuke, who believes him. He keeps working towards his goal, and as he starts believing that he has become strong enough, Konoha gets ambushed by Hidari and the other god trees, who had already planned to devour Sarada and the others. Massive destruction ensues. The only thing that saved Konoha from further damage was Boruto's measly knowledge regarding these creatures. Despite his efforts, Konoha suffers major damage, including loss of lives, including some people Boruto really cared about. His hatred for Hidari and the other god trees further surges. He isolates himself once again and commences training. Soon he realizes that no matter how much he trains, he will never become strong enough to defeat them by himself. At that point, Momoshiki offers to assist him. In the beginning, Boruto denies his offer, but as time passes, Boruto further realizes that all his efforts are pointless. There's nothing he can do without Momoshiki's help, and at that point, he decides to form an alliance with him. He allows Momoshiki to take over part of his consciousness, which grants him immense ability in the beginning. However, as time passes by, Boruto's desire for power keeps increasing, and Momoshiki's control over his body too. Now that Momoshiki has control over his soul, he even alters his memories, planting fake events that could turn him against Konoha. Momoshiki knows that only Konoha can prevent his plan from completion, and it's better to destroy it before anything happens. Without wasting any time, Momoshiki instructs Boruto to completely obliterate Konoha from this world, and Boruto obeys his order. With Momoshiki's help, Boruto completely destroys Konoha, mercilessly killing every citizen out there, even his former comrades and close friends. At this point, there's no one who can save him. Without Naruto and Sasuke, Konoha is completely helpless. Following all this destruction, Boruto returns back to his hideout. To make him suffer, Momoshiki grants him his memories back, showing what he had done. This traumatizes Boruto completely. He realizes what he's done, but there's no going back now. With this, he loses his will to live, and at this point, Momoshiki takes over his entire soul, and the Boruto we know is dead. Let's talk about the third and last scenario. This one might be a little longer and more detailed compared to the previous ones, so you might as well grab some popcorn. In this scenario, we'll have to revert back in time, to the point when Boruto gets banished from Konoha following the memory swap. In the original timeline, some people, including Sasuke and Sarada, believed Boruto, which kept him going. However, there is a massive possibility that no one believed him and he gets isolated. At that point, Boruto would be at the lowest he's ever been. Lost his parents, people he loves don't even recognize him, and deem him a criminal. Alone, Boruto tries his best to amend the situation, but he fails miserably. miserably. With this, Boruto's entire personality shatters, and he decides to take revenge against Konoha. With this in mind, he approaches Code, and even though they were enemies, and Code hates Boruto, he somehow manages to formulate an alliance with him. Boruto vows his soul if he assists him in eradicating Konoha. Code fails to comprehend this in the beginning, but as long as Boruto is offering himself, he agrees. Together, both of them restore the entire Kara. It takes quite some time for them to hire members and formulate an entire structure, with Code serving as the leader. In the meantime, Konoha had also gained intelligence reports regarding Kara's revival, but they don't know that Boruto is the one behind all this. Unlike this previous Kara that had a proper motive, this Kara is just there to cause utter chaos. It's full of vicious criminals that know nothing but destruction. Following some thorough planning, Boruto and Code finally decide to invade Konoha. At that point, Boruto had acquired some skills in his arsenal, owing to the fact that they had invaded some other nations before this and stolen forbidden scrolls. With this, the war begins. Konoha had already received intelligence reports that Kara would be invading the town, and they were fully prepared for it. With Code leading the attack, Kara ensures utter destruction over Konoha. Even though most citizens were evacuated, there's still chaos among the higher-ups. Sarada and the others are trying to tackle this attack, and just when they think that things cannot get any worse, Boruto appears out of nowhere and absolutely obliterates a shinobi squad. Sarada leaves her squad behind and heads toward Boruto. In the meantime, Kawaki is busy battling Code, who has also grown immensely strong. He inquires as to the reason behind this attack, and Code refuses to answer him, but Kawaki persists. Code finally reveals that Boruto is the one behind the massive attack, and Kara's revival, which shocks Kawaki. Code further blames them for Boruto's twisted personality and the reason he's taking revenge. In the meantime, Sarada also confronts Boruto, and saves a little girl from his attack. Seeing this, Boruto ambushes her, but she dodges it. She realizes that she cannot fight him alone and decides to stall for some time. Boruto, on the other hand, keeps attacking her. Sarada questions the reason he's doing all this, which shocks Boruto. He mocks her for not even remembering this and continues attacking. Boruto reminds her that they are the ones behind all this, but Sarada fails to comprehend it. Sarada realizes that Boruto is just playing around with her, as in the meantime, her backup also arrives in the form of Himawari and the other shinobis. Boruto recognizes all of them, which further alleviates his anger. He concentrates all his strength into a single attack and absolutely obliterates everything in his path. Sarada somehow manages to save Himawari, but they are still gravely wounded. Kawaki, on the other hand, has also lost to Code, and most of Konoha's shinobi are either dead or gravely injured. At this point, Boruto has turned completely evil. He mercilessly kills off the remaining shinobi, leaving behind Sarada and Himawari, who are barely alive. After reaching the Kara headquarters, Code reminds Boruto of his promise, as Boruto grants him permission to take his life. With this, Code pierces his chest with his arm and kills off Boruto. Now this raises some further questions, like what if Naruto and Sasuke were present there? Could they have stopped Boruto and Code's rampage? Well, we can talk about this in some other videos. Till then, sayonara!